Hello again. My next guest is a true testament of the saying, anything is possible. Meet Palesa Deejay Manaleng.
I was cycled around West Dean, and I was cycling down a street called Manmoth in West Dean. And I was going downhill, the brakes of my bicycle failed, I hit a pavement, and I flew into the Palesa wall at the UJ Stadium, rugby stadium. Dislocated my spine, I broke trips, I punctured a lung, fractured a shoulder, sustained a head injury. I'm now a complete paraplegic, so I have no feeling, no movement from just above my belly button down. And then after that, I figured, what the hell? I love cycling, I love the feeling of freedom that cycling brings.
Let's welcome in studio Palesa Deejay Manaleng. Motaka tobe. I want to go back. Retomeka, your love of sport. When did it all begin for you?
Probably my mother's womb. I mean, I played sports for as long as I could remember. Street soccer, I was in the netball team when I was 6 years old, tennis, hockey, swimming. You know, any sport that they offered, I just wanted to take part in.
Yeah, you were always an active motor. Yeah. And then if we fast forward to September 10, 2014, as you were relaying the story here, what happened?
So I woke up like every other morning. I used to run 10Ks then, and I was starting to get into cycling. And I went for a run, for an early morning run from West Dean to Cresta, came back, had breakfast, and I thought I'm going to move my things around in my cottage. Got tired, took the bike. I was like, I'm going cycling. What's up, my friend? Chomibona. I'm just cycling around West Dean, because usually I go to Rhodoport or Kruger Stop. So I'm like, give me a rounding, I'll come back. And I'll come see you by your shop. Went out, never came back. Went down Manmouth Road. It's a street in West Dean. Brakes on my bicycle failed. Hit pavement, flew into the Palesa wall at the UJ Stadium. Dislocated the spine, broke trips, punctured a lung, fractured a shoulder, and sustained a head injury. So I've got a nice tattoo on my face.
You look stunning. I love it.
I love it.
And you were 27 years old at the time.
Yes.
Just before you were approaching your 30th birthday, this happened. What did that do to your life? What did this mean for you?
Yeah, it was one hell of a change, because I had to make decisions now. When I was in hospital, do I go back home and live with my mother and my father and my siblings and be carried around? Because when I visualized it when I was in hospital, in the morning and put me under a tree and put a blanket, those blue and black blankets, you know, bring me food. I didn't want that. Or I could stay in Joburg and try to figure it out. So stayed in Joburg. When I left hospital, I went back to my cottage and lived on my own since then. Of course, I fell and I cried, but I had to figure it out for myself. There was no way when I was an adult. So lots of decisions.
Mentally, that shift, where you had to change, or your life was just changed, and you decided, I'm actually going to do this on my own. What did that mean on a daily basis? Because you went from Rotsora, you opened the door, Wajwa, to coming back now and you need assistance.
Listen, the first 3 days, let me give you this story. The first 3 days that I was alone, my mother, I was discharged December 31st, 2014. And my mother was there for a couple of days, and she had to go back home because she's a teacher. So I was completely alone. So the first 3 days I was alone. I tried to transfer from the wheelchair to the toilet. So so they don't work. So you have to physically lift the leg and put it on the floor and physically lift yourself from your wheelchair to the toilet. And I missed. I went too forward too soon, you know. And I still didn't have because I don't have stomach muscles. So I was still too weak. I'd be moving around like a child. And I missed the basin with my head, and I fell on the floor. I spent 3 days on the floor because I didn't want to ask for help.
You spent 3 days on the floor?
3 days on the floor.
Sure.
But the third day I was too sick. I was weak, I was sick, I didn't have water. So I had to call for help. So I called, because I lived in a yard, in a cottage at the back of the house. And in the house there were 3 guys. So I had to call one of them. I was like, Kabza, are you guys home? He's like, yeah, we haven't seen you in a couple of days. I'm like, I'm on the floor, I need help. I'd locked the gate, so they had to jump over the gate that separated us and come and help me out.
Where you are a person that says, I can do this on my own, to admitting that, you know what, it's okay to ask for help. When we talk about accessibility and how people respond or treat people with, do we call it a disability?
I call myself differently abled.
how people treat differently able-bodied people. Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
How have you found people respond to you? Do people feel sorry for you? Do people want to help you?
Well, you get different people. You get people who want to randomly pray for you because they think that when I want to walk again. So you be a random person, you be wheeling around, like, you must come to my church, my pastor will help you walk, you know. And you'll be like, okay, that's nice. Or you'll be, I do my own shopping. I'll be in the mall and someone would grab my wheelchair and be like, why are you on your own? And I'll be like, but like, you shouldn't be on your own. Why are you allowed to? Why am I allowed to be on my own?
Sure.
And you try very hard not to get mad. And you get people who feel sorry for you. Who'll be saying things like, oh, I was having a bad day, but then I saw you in a wheelchair. And I'll be like, really? 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 So it's, you get different reactions from different people. But I've taught myself that you need to teach people how to deal with you, how to treat you. And I'm an easygoing person. I make jokes about my disability.
If anyone knows you in this office, because we also work with Palesa, and if anyone knows you, you're so infectious. Your spirit is just so open. You're such an amazing human being, not because of anything that you look like, that you are or that you aren't, but because when you see through someone and you see their spirit and you connect on a spiritual level, that's you. And I think the entire office can attest to that. And one thing that you are is mentally, Papa, you are absolutely strong. Let's talk about the paracycling, the hand cycling that you do.
It's love, man. It's, it's my freedom. I'm the happiest when I'm on the road for a good 90 Ks, 106 Ks, just going up hills, down hills, sweating. I love it. It's the kind of freedom you can't buy. You don't need your legs for it.
You don't need your legs for it. Why did you continue with it?
The freedom. I've always loved sports, and for me, even when I was a child, when things went bad at home or at school, I had sports. It was where I went to be happy. I had soccer, I had hockey. Now I've got my wheelchair racing, I've got, boxing with my coach, I've got my hand cycling. It makes me happy. Things can go, you could burn a building, but I'd go to hand cycle, but they burned the building, so what? It makes me happy.
Right. Yeah. And you have already in the bag 2 gold medals, just starting 2019 and just kicking it open. Congratulations. You not only compete, but you are the best at what you do. Why is that so important?
I try to be the best at what I do. Well, I guess if you've lost something, you try your best to replace it with being the best that you can be. I've got nothing else to lose. And so I give everything that I have to my sports, no matter the obstacles, no matter the frustrations, because disability sport is expensive. The equipment is not good. Corporates don't want to support it. Sometimes you want to compete and you're told, oh, no, it's going to be too hard for you. Already people are telling you can't because wheelchair. So whenever you go compete, or whatever opportunity you get to compete, you just give everything that you've got. Because already you've passed 10 people who've said, no, we don't think you'll finish this race, or no, you don't think you can do this. But by the time you do it, you're like, because you are also wanting to take part in the 2020 Paralympics. That would be amazing. You are there already. You're going there already. That would be.
What would that mean for you?
You know what? If I was to go, when I go to the toilet, let me say it when. Let's remove the if. It would be like, I'd probably stand up and run around my wheelchair and sit back again. that
Absolutely.
There's no other thing.
Absolutely.
Just to be able to represent your country, to be able to show you can, even though you're differently able. Because as black people, we treat disability as if it's contagious, man. As if you sit next to me because I'm in a wheelchair, you'll wake up and be on a wheelchair. We lock up our kids. We deny them access to education. So to be able to do that would mean to me to say to their parents and to say, anything is possible, man. Send them to school, send them to sports. Just because they're differently able doesn't mean that they're less. That would be, there are no words.
Mutwaka, ra leboga. Thank you very much for coming through to speak to us this morning. Journalist and paracyclist, Palesa Deejay Manaleng.